So thank you. In this project, I'm now going to start talking more around what we did in our second project, and that's the Future Cities project. And you will see that there's quite a close relationship between the two, and that's also what it's making it sometimes difficult to make a presentation and then start in the first one with the second one. So you'll see why. Because in this project, we looked more into the question of city developments, and in planning studies so far, the smart city debate has largely covered the whole question of technologization and digitalization. But under this cover of smart city strategy, mostly BIM is not really included in it. And we are asking, how do cities actually prepare for a digital future, and do cities take up the idea of BIM? And here's the answer: no, they don't. So, with a few exceptions, of course. So if you have a city-state, such as Singapore, they are really taking BIM on board. But then again, in general, worldwide, cities don't have coherent BIM strategies, nor a representative if you try to find and call someone in big cities. So one of the reasons we argue is that there is not enough political coordination and integration between the national level and the city level. And there is quite a high activity at the national level, and at the city level that really is very closely related to the project level and is based to site arguments. So we had a broader look into different international country strategies, and these are the countries which have a high BIM activity. And we found that the two main uptakes of BIM are essentially around large-scale infrastructures, and then secondly, when it comes to public procurements. So to give you two examples, one of it is actually the Rail Baltica growth corridor, and this shows the European move towards supporting large-scale transport access with BIM. They build dedicated governance structures, have own finances to have large-scale developments. And here the first train will be rolling in 2026. Other examples is that most of the countries have tried to make BIM a requirement for their public buildings. One of the first countries working with BIM were the US, and this is an example, the US Coast Guard Academy, who have the requirement in all buildings they are building or that they are renovating to make use of BIM. And what we can actually see is that there is quite a high necessity for the national government to be involved. They provide the financial frameworks, the soft measures, governance processes, for example, or like that the stakeholders, the governmental organization, are quite crucial. So if we can see in where BIM is taken up, that the national governments are so important, why not make a wider use of that? Because the technical solutions are there. It's possible to make more use of BIM at the city-level government, to integrate it with CityGML data and make city information building. And there's a huge gap. And one of the things that we now say is, well, if it's technically possible, we need to understand why cities and stakeholders are not engaging with that. And I think that is where we want to look into in the future more closely at why do they not take it up. And it might be because of a missing political will. It might be because there's no human resources available at the city level. It might be because sometimes they don't have the technical expertise. But in any case, what we need to understand is why they don't do it and make some pilot projects and then try to identify how we can overcome that. And that is where we want to look into future. And that will feed them back into how the planning system can support and make the right incentives to make cities take BIM up.